Okay, so I'm sitting here with a part two of the Nokia Lumia 635. This is on Boost Mobile. I've had it for quite a while, and while it's a kind of an out-of-date phone, it's been out for quite some time. Don't have a front-facing camera, nothing like that. It's pretty much just your standard 4.5-inch display phone. However, it is a really nice phone. So in this review, this part two review, I'm going to give you some more specs. I want to run some more tests, play a few games, just give you the overall performance of how this phone works with only 512 megabytes of RAM. So, with all that being said, let's go and get started in this review. Okay, so I'm back with the long awaited part two of the Nokia Lumia 635 on Boost Mobile. Now, I have been requested to do this several times, and I've just not really been able to do it for some different reasons or another. But here I am right now with the Lumia 635 on Boost Mobile. So I'm going to go ahead, and I can't remember what I done in the last video, so I'm going to go ahead and give the specs again while I'm going through the phone and kind of run some games and just kind of show you how the phone just really works and how good it does work for a low-end Windows device on Boost Mobile. Now, I will say that I really wish that they would come out with a new Windows device on Boost Mobile, since this phone here is pretty much out of date, obsolete. It'd be nice to get like the 640 or something like that with Boost Mobile, but right now I don't see that happening in the near future. And I will discuss updates and stuff like that in this video, keep it as short as possible. So I hope this helps a little bit. So stay tuned for the whole video to know everything about what I'm going to say. So go ahead and get into it. This phone does run Windows 8.1. Now, I was sure this phone would receive Windows 10. I did some research the other day, and I looked at the Windows phones that will support Windows 10 and what will get the update. And the 635 will get the update. However, this has got 512 megabytes of RAM. And when you look it up, it says 635, but beside it, it says 1 gigabyte. And there is a 1 gigabyte version available. Virgin Mobile had it. I never seen one through Boost Mobile, but I did see one through Virgin Mobile for 1 gigabyte. So they did up the RAM. They made it was the same phone. All they did was come out with a new phone with double the RAM, and that will be the one that gets the Windows 10 update. So I don't really see the 512 megabytes of RAM getting the Windows 10 update. I'm not going to say for sure, but as of right now, it looks like that it will not be getting that update. So I thought I'd go ahead and clear that up here. As we look around the phone here, as you'll see, there is no front-facing camera, which is very disappointing. It wouldn't have took anything hardly extra to add a front-facing camera on this device. Even if it was VGA quality, it'd have been better than nothing. But as you see, there is no front-facing camera. However, there are modes for selfie pictures that you can do from the back by making certain gestures and stuff like that. So, it is possible to do that. It's not as easy as looking at yourself from the front taking a selfie picture. So, up top here, you do have your earpiece, Nokia branding here. You have your 4.5-inch display that comes in at 480 by 854 resolution at 218 pixels per inch. It is an IPS LCD display that has scratch-resistant glass, cornering Gorilla Glass 3. On the side here, it's very clean, nothing here. On the bottom, your micro USB charging port. On the right side, you got your volume rocker here, your power button, and as you see here, these are different colors. This is a lighter color than this color here, and the back also goes from the darker color to the lighter blue. So it's kind of a little bit different, and you can also buy different back covers like red. I think you can get black, orange, yellow, green, white, different colors like that, and plus other ones you can get on like eBay or Amazon that are specially designed for this device. On top here, 3.5 millimeter headset jack. On the front bottom is your microphone down here and your touch keys. are on screen. So yeah. Now on the back, you do have a 5 megapixel camera with autofocus, and it also has f2.4 aperture size. And it does record in 720p at 30 frames per second. So that's the max you can get on this device. Now the back cover is removable, which is really nice as well. The battery is replaceable, and it does have a 1830 milliamp hour battery. Like I said, it is user replaceable. Micro SD card slot up top here, and your micro SIM card slot here for your LTE connectivity. This phone cannot be used on GSM networks. The micro SIM card works as a GSM LTE band card, but putting the GSM card in here will not work. So I thought I'd go ahead and throw that in there. So yeah. In the battery life, going by what I'm seeing here, is around 12 hours of talk time with an estimated 27 days of standby time. Now, however, my phone is not really, I can't really go by that because my phone, it's been sitting for a while. The battery went dead for a long period of time. So when I charge it, 2 hour phone call, it will drop 50%. So the battery in mine is not that great anymore. It has lost its power. So I can't really comment on battery life. Now this phone does run the 1.2 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 400 processor with 1 gigabyte of RAM with 8 gigs of built-in storage, with around half of that being available to user. You can move apps to the SD card, and it does move the whole app to the SD card, which is really awesome. And it will support up to 128 gigabyte micro SD card, which is really awesome as well. Now this phone is LTE Cat 3 compatible. For 100 megabits per second download and 150 megabits per second upload, and it also has Bluetooth 4.0, and that's about it for this phone. Now this phone right here, you can get this phone here now for a pretty cheap price depending on where you get it from. This phone works very well, and I really like the Windows operating system. If One of the main reasons why it's not a daily driver of mine is because of the lack of Google apps. Like, having a real YouTube app, having, a lot of social media apps. I mean, you have Facebook and you have Instagram and you have Twitter, and that's just about it. Maybe a few more that I really don't use, but as far as having like Snapchat, streaming services, it just don't have it. You have a lot of the third party apps that really ain't worth a flip, and if you ain't careful, a lot of them are spam apps, and if you ain't careful, a lot of them will steal your information, so I don't trust them. So that's just my opinion and my thoughts. Now we'll go ahead and power the phone on here, and I'm going to do one thing here before I get the phone on and everything. So yeah, got the phone on here, and you'll see got the front screen, got your status bar up here, Wi-Fi, battery life, and I got my location and everything set as my front wallpaper, as you can see there. Now when we pop this thing open, you'll see the screen looks pretty good, even though it's not HD. It comes in really clear. It is a little pixelated every once in a while when you get in real close, but it's nothing really too majorly bad. This phone is very smooth. I have almost all of the internal storage right now used up, and as you see here, it does run very smooth, runs very well, and I really don't have any issues running this phone. Now I did download it into Benchmark. Now this here, I'm not really sure of how good it really is or how long it actually takes to run. So we will go ahead right now and start the benchmark test and let that run out and see what it runs. Now, Windows phones are different than Android, stuff like that. So this is just kind of like a shot in the dark to see what's going to run. This phone here does have good call quality. Reception is fair. I have had phones that has better reception. I do find myself dropping more calls with the Lumia 635 than phones like the ZT Warp Elite, the LG G Stylo, and that was pretty fast. So let's go ahead and look at it here. As you see, these numbers here, I'm not sure if they're good or if they're bad. So you be the judge of that. But that's a score um, and everything else. So 480 by 800, and it tells everything. And so yeah, that right there are the scores. So take it for what it is. If it's good, bad, I'm not really sure. I also downloaded some games. Like I said, you got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, eBay, stuff like that. Speed test. Some cool apps on here. It's just not as good as, of course, iOS or Android. But I will go ahead right now and I will play Temple Run 2 to show you how the game operates and runs while playing this game. And it is very smooth. I'll tell you, this phone is very smooth. It works very well for only 512 megabytes of RAM. Now, I may have said earlier that it has one gigabyte of RAM, but this particular model here does only have 512 megabytes of RAM. And as you see, it's very smooth, no drop frames, no issues whatsoever. So we'll go ahead here and try to outrun this little monster and see how this thing operates. For the processor that it runs with the RAM and all, it's really not that bad of a phone. I mean, if they would really have more app support with this phone, where you have more Google apps, Google Plus, YouTube apps, more social media apps, it would be completely awesome. And it would probably be a way more popular operating system if they had more in the way of apps. So as you see here, this game right here works pretty flawlessly without any issues whatsoever. So we're going to go ahead right now and end this here. Well, if I can find the button. And I also downloaded Sonic Dash. We'll go ahead and look at that right fast like and play a little bit of it to show you how it is. Now I did see a little bit of frame droppage on this game here. Not too bad, but it did drop a few frames here and there. But for the most part, it did do pretty well. So right now the Bluetooth is on, so I'll go ahead and cut the Bluetooth off on this device. If I'm able to. It won't let me do anything right now. Give me the drop down. There we go. So now we're waiting for this here to load up. I did play it one time, so yeah. Just want to see how it plays. Come on now. Just gonna pick something here so we can go ahead and get playing. There we go. There's no sound for some reason, so but this is Sonic Dash. It's amazing how fast time flies when you're doing a review. I lost all my coins. Oh well, like I said, not too good at this game here. I've not really played it, but like once, and that was today. You see there's a few drop frames here and there. Nothing too awful. Nothing that's gonna sit there and make it a bad experience. But it does have a few drop frames here and there. It does have a few issues, but like I said, nothing just really gonna make you cringe. Now I did do Asphalt 8, so I'm going to set this up. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, so we are starting the race, and it's waiting to load up a little bit here, and we'll see how this game works on this really low-end Lumia device. And I say low-end because of the specs. But by using it, you would never know it's low-end. Looking through a screen, so if my driving sucks, I apologize, but kind of get away from the screen a little bit. As you see, it looks really good. Really no drop frames on this game here whatsoever. It seems to play very well until it hit that wall. But you get the point. It does do really well. Like I said, the scrolling does really good. The menu here looks really good as well. It's just very smooth. We'll go into the settings here for a minute. Now, I won't go into the camera on this video here because I plan on doing a camera test with this phone here in a week or two. I'll say that there to give me some time. But then you got your start theme, ringtones, all this good stuff. I mean, it's just pretty much whatever you see. I will go in here to the storage if I can find it. Storage sync, and as you see, I only have 367 megabytes free on the phone, and as you've seen, it run very well. So I mean, it is what it is. It does work very well. We will go into the dialer here, and dialer is really nice as well, without really any issues with that. Works very well, very responsive. We will go into messages here and start a new message. And I love the keyboard on this phone. It's just really accurate. You can't really see it there, but you also have your emojis, which is very important to a lot of people. And there is very many to choose from, which is really awesome as well. So yes, it does have emojis, all that good stuff. So this is just my part 2 review of the Lumia 635 with Boost Mobile. It still works very well. I will do a picture and video test on this phone here coming up shortly. I want to keep this video as short as possible. It's 16 minutes long already, longer than I wanted to spend on this video, but time flies when you're doing a video. So anyway, if you got any questions or comments about this phone, leave them in the comment section below. I know it's been out for quite a while and kind of outdated with a smaller screen, no front-facing camera, only 512 megabytes of RAM, and unfortunately, as of right now, probably will not get Windows 10, which is sad. But it is what it is, and all that good stuff. But like I said, it does have your basic Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, eBay, stuff like that that you use. And the live tiles are really awesome as well. And like I said, if you want wallpapers like this here, you can always go and download the Zedge app, which is not quite as good. And you'll see right there is the Zedge app right there. It's not quite as good as the Android version, but it does do okay. So I love the Windows platform. If I had more apps in the App Store, and if I had a whole lot more support for apps, then it would probably be one of my daily driving phones, because it's just an awesome, smooth, very easy to use phone that works very well. Like I said, call quality is good. Battery life is decent if you got a good battery in there. My battery's kind of shot. Reception is a little on the scarce side. It's not the greatest in the world. I do find myself dropping more calls with this phone than other phone like a ZTE or an LG. But still, it holds the phone call pretty well in weak areas. Of course, if you're in a strong area, you'll have no problems at all. So that's just my thoughts and opinions on the part 2 review of the Nokia Lumia 635 on Boost Mobile. So if you got any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll get back with you as soon as possible. If this was informative in any way, give me that thumbs up, and I'd really appreciate it. Haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so by hitting that subscribe button down below. I'd appreciate that very much so. So y'all have a good one, and stay tuned for the next video.